AI art is soulless. There's no imperfect, shaky hand of the artist choosing each brushstroke, with every detail a part of their individuality. AI art, even if it solves its Cronenberg finger problem or its inability to show depth of field or the way it makes facial features clip through hair, even if they patch all this and it no longer looks shit to the untrained eye, it is inherently uninteresting and a heavily restricted creative process. If you paint a bird with 1,000,000 brushstrokes and dissolve that painting in acid, that work of art has incalculably more lasting impact and value than simply just typing a few words into a prompt to get a computer to hallucinate an image for you. The artist is removed from the process and all that is left is a keyword search, averaging out and aggregating a data set of stolen images, all to approximate something along the lines of Spy X Family, your Latina inflation in the style of Andy Warhol. Even if AI art manages to perfect its anatomical and physical geography, which despite its rapid progress in the last 5 years is vanishingly unlikely, both due to the illusory nature of trying to capture the process of human creation, and because governments and other bodies are finally waking up to the fact that this tech is very dangerous. Making AI art makes you an artist in the same way that commissioning a human artist to paint you something makes you an artist. It doesn't. At least there's the potential for feedback and a more detailed prompt. AI has no personality. It just creates Frankenstein's remix of existing works. Now, humans steal from each other all the time, but even tracing over a picture of Garfield displays far more creative innovation and decision making than typing it into an AI prompt. The truly disgusting thing is when people try to claim that this is democratizing any sort of creative process, when it's actually doing the opposite. Stealing people's art without permission or attribution so you can get your computer to trace over it obviously harms artists on an individual level. The real risk is of corporate automation. Some people, like a lot of the commenters under that Corridor Digital video, have not thought critically about what they are watching. Now, I wouldn't consider myself an animation expert, but watching facial expressions morph and shiver like the creature from The Thing just doesn't look that good, especially given that this isn't an artistic choice but a limitation of the technology itself. Of course, the medium is the message, but even so. Credit to Corridor Digital for comping it together. However, I feel like the actual effort that this very competent visual effects house has put in to make this shitty AI art even slightly palatable has become lost in the discourse source. I used to love these guys' videos when I was like 10, watching them make shitty video game parodies with Freddy One, and I do genuinely think, like Backyard Effects before them, they've inspired a whole generation of filmmakers to explore visual effects. However, it's now 2023 and they're just the same as any other white tech bro with more money than sense and more ego than empathy. If they can sell shit like this to an audience of idiots, then CEOs who have even more money and even less sense will definitely use it to fuck over artists, just like they've used every other trick in a book to fuck them over before, because that is the nature of capitalism. AI art may be the most powerful tool that corporations have yet to advance automation and justify valuing artists even less. We are perhaps months away from something like Midjourney being used to replace a background artist, and it'll be in between animation, and it'll be character designers until they can get away with making the most mass market, low effort slop imaginable that keeps their wives Botoxed and their battery victims paid off. Technology is not inherently evil, but human greed is, and this particular technology is perhaps the best at facilitating it since the invention of currency. Let's say you could use AI to identify diseases or something, which we can, or only train it on a data set of images that you have reimbursed the artist for. Maybe these moral issues wouldn't be so pressing. However, this technology is in the hands of the worst people in the world. Capitalists. This hasn't democratized shit. Sure, the average person can half-ass an Instagram filter or use someone else's hosted generator, but the technology behind this, at least if we want to use it to its full potential, is inaccessible both because of its complexity and the computing power needed, both of which are competing in an arms race as we let these neural networks spiral out of control with little human knowledge of what these algorithms are actually doing, let alone the biases that they might be regurgitating. We are sleepwalking into an ethical disaster in art. You man are out here claiming it's democratizing creativity as opposed to concentrating even more power in the hands of the rich and greedy. So why did I do it 3 years ago? It's okay when I do it. Do as I say, not as I do. Just kidding. Let me explain myself. So what I used was this free software called EBSynth. It is a neural network, but it uses a very limited data set. It isn't an AI image generator from a prompt. What it is basically style transfer or a fancy Instagram filter. By the way, these all use neural networks now. So what I did is that I filmed and edited a music video, cut it together, and then drew over individual frames in those videos. The neural network used those frames which I drew to apply that style to multiple shots at once. The style was applied to subsequent frames after me inputting my own art. Full disclosure, I used Instagram filters and other image distortions as well to feed into this machine, but the input remained in the hand of the artist, me. I did really basically everything of substance about the video. Now, would I do it again? Absolutely not. Well, I think it looked cool. AI art as an umbrella term just has too many bad associations with it. When I made these videos a few years ago, the tools that we're talking about now literally did not exist. But that is the stink upon my soul. I have used AI to make art, and it didn't really get that many views, so who cares? I am cautiously optimistic about the future of this technology, not because I think it will be used for good, but I think that it might precipitate a Butlerian jihad, just because we're getting into such glaringly obvious evil territory. Have I played a role in popularizing this technology? No, again, like, these videos got no views. But will this prevent someone from calling me a hypocrite for criticizing something that I have used? Also no. But yeah, that's the emotional labour for this week. Go buy your friend's art, and I'll see you next time for something.
Time to pattern up mine, best you pattern up yours. Running out of the lines, nitrics lost in the source. Keep it collected, you're not always the gov we elected. Cash it quick.